The Iran-backed Palestinian terrorist group Hamas has chosen arch-terrorist Yahya Sinwar, the mastermind of the October 7, 2023, atrocities against thousands of Israelis, as the chairman of its political bureau. Sinwar, who has been hiding in the Gaza Strip since the Hamas-led attack, will take over from Ismail Haniyeh, the former chairman of the group's political bureau, who was killed in the Iranian capital of Tehran on July 31st. The fact that Sinwar was elected shows that Hamas's political and military branches are the same. It also demonstrates that when it comes to Islamist terrorist organizations, there is no difference between a political and military leader. By electing Sinwar as its political leader, Hamas itself is stating that it does not distinguish between a politician and terrorist. Has anyone ever considered referring to Osama bin Laden and Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the heads of al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, ISIS, as the political leaders of their respective organizations? In addition to Haniyeh, Hamas's political bureau consists of several figures such as Khalil al-Hayya, Khaled Mashal, Musa Abu Marzouk, Ghazi Hamad, and Taher Aynunu, who have long been advocating the armed struggle against Israel and glorifying acts of terrorism against Israelis. On the day of the Hamas-led attack on Israeli communities, these leaders held a special prayer in the office of Haniyeh in Doha, Qatar, to thank God for the crimes perpetrated by their terrorists and thousands of ordinary Palestinians. These crimes resulted in the murders of 1,200 Israelis and the abduction of more than 240 others to the Gaza Strip. During the attack, Israelis and others were beheaded, raped, sexually abused, burned alive, and abducted. Moreover, the political leaders of Hamas have threatened, from their safe villas and offices in Qatar, to carry out more atrocities against Israelis, and added that their ultimate goal is to destroy Israel. One of them, Ghazi Hamad, said in an interview with Lebanon's LBC TV that Hamas is prepared to repeat the October 7th massacres time and again until Israel is annihilated. Israel is a country that has no place on our land. We must remove that country. The Al-Aqsa flood, the name Hamas gave to the attack, is just the first time, and there will be a second, a third, a fourth. Will we have to pay a price? Yes, and we are ready to pay it. Everything we do is justified. Weeks before he was assassinated, Haniyeh called on Palestinians in Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and elsewhere to mobilize and escalate the confrontation with Israel. We must rise in the face of the Israeli enemy. The Free Palestinian people should mobilize on all the fronts in Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. They need to escalate the confrontation to accomplish our plan of liberation and the return of the refugees. We must be together in this and stand as one to defeat the enemy. We must close ranks together with Gaza and in all our cities and villages in the West Bank and in the occupied land inside Israel. When Hamas talks about the liberation, it is referring to its declared goal of eliminating Israel and replacing it with an Islamist state, as affirmed in its own charter. Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. The charter also reminds Muslims of the renowned Islamic hadith. The day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight the Jews, when the Jew will hide behind stones and trees. The stones and trees will say, "O Muslims, O Abdullah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him." Note the word Jews, not Israelis. At the moment, other non-Muslims are also being slaughtered, such as Christians in Nigeria and other parts of Africa, and the Muslim in Sudan. The return of refugees refers to the Palestinian demand to flood Israel with millions of Palestinians in the hopes of turning it into another Arab state where some Jews could be allowed to live as a tolerated minority. Another Hamas political leader, Khaled Mashal, said earlier this year that his group's attack on Israel has revived the dream of destroying Israel and proved that liberating Palestine from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea is a realistic idea. He noted that there is nearly a consensus among the Palestinians that they will not give up their rights to the land stretching from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea.